Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I have decided to talk about my favorite sunscreens for different skin types and different occasions. I've spent the past 2 years making videos where I do very detailed reviews on many different sunscreens. So I thought it was about time that I make a video where I actually sum up everything I have found by focusing on the products which, in my opinion, are the best. For this video, I decided to put those sunscreens in 3 categories. And the first category is my favorite sunscreens to use on the beach or in the summer during vacation, where we spend a lot of time outside. I created this category because the summer is quite specific. If you go on the beach or if you walk around, during vacation, you visit a city, so you might spend a lot of time outside, even during the peak hours of the sun. So if you wear a sunscreen, you will have to reapply it very often. For that reason, you want to make sure that the sunscreen is not stinging your eyes. And also, you would prefer a big packaging versus a small packaging. Some sunscreens packaging are very tiny, so I'm not gonna focus on those sunscreens. Anyways, I have 4 sunscreens in this category. Every sunscreens I'm gonna review in this video do not contain any fragrance, drying alcohol, essential oils, because those ingredients are not the best for sensitive skin, and my skin type is very sensitive. The first 2 sunscreens in this category are from the American brand Cotz, and both are mineral type sunscreens. The first reason I chose those ones is because mineral type sunscreens tend to not sting the eyes. So if you have to reapply a sunscreen, that will be a good option if you are afraid that the sunscreen might sting your eyes. That is the case with most mineral sunscreens, but these are different also in the sense that they are invisible or pretty much invisible, including on my skin tone. The vast majority of sunscreens, even when they claim that they are invisible, are very much visible, especially if you have a dark skin tone. I've watched many videos of people with dark skin, black people, Indian people reviewing mineral type sunscreens, and these ones are the best when it comes to being transparent on the skin. I have a video where you can see me apply the sunscreen on my face, a good amount of sunscreen, and you can see the result for yourself. The sensitive one is SPF 40, the flawless complexion is SPF 50. The other difference is that the sensitive version is waterproof and the flawless complexion version is not. The flawless complexion is tinted, the sensitive one is not, but the tint is quite universal. The tint is just a way to help to get rid of the white cast. So it's not going to be visible on your skin. It's just a way to help make the sunscreen invisible on most skin type. But if you are very pale, you might have a kind of tan effect with this tint. Another thing I like about both sunscreen is the packaging, and I like the fact that it is quite big compared to most sunscreens. This sensitive one is 100 grams and this one is 70 grams and it costs $28. So it is not cheap, but for the quantity it is quite affordable if you compare it to most sunscreens on the market. The texture is quite thick. It is not the best at all, like most mineral sunscreens. That's why for me it is a sunscreen used when you are, really in the sun and you really want to protect your skin. But if you have a date and you want to wear a sunscreen, that is not the one I would choose, because your skin is probably going to look oily, or the sunscreen looks kind of rich, even if you have dry skin. So in terms of texture, it is not the best. But in terms of protection, it is a great option. The third sunscreen in this category is the SPF 50 sunscreen by the brand Altruist. I also made a video on this sunscreen. This one is a chemical type sunscreen. For me, I have to say that it does hurt my very sensitive eyes. So that is not a sunscreen that I can use on the beach or on a day where I have to reapply and reapply the sunscreen. But thankfully, not everyone has such sensitive eyes like I do. So if you don't have any issues with sunscreen when it comes to your eyes, you should probably love this one. Again, the texture is not the best. I think it is quite thick and rich. Not as thick as a Cotz sunscreen, but still it is thick. But the price for the quantity is amazing. It is only £5. So the first one I reviewed this sunscreen, it was only sold by the brand on their website and on Amazon, and this is a British brand. So the shipping was quite expensive. But now I've seen it on other websites, so the shipping should be more affordable. And obviously, if you live in the UK, that is a great option for you. Again, it is a big packaging. It is 100 millimeters for £5, which is the best price I have seen. So if you want a cheap sunscreen that is almost invisible, you should definitely give this a try. The last sunscreen in this category might surprise you if you watch my channel, because I made a video about French sunscreens and I explain why I don't like them. There are so many reasons. But there is a sunscreen that is French that I have to include in this video, and it is the Avène Intense Protect. Actually, I don't like this one for me, but my mom's loves it. This sunscreen is good for many reasons. It comes in a big packaging, 150 millimeters, which is more than most sunscreens that you can find. You can use this on your face and your body, but I think it is more economical to only use it on the face and use the body sunscreens because they tend to be cheaper. And it is a chemical type sunscreen that does not sting the eyes. I've tried it and it does not sting my eyes. I think that it is the only French sunscreen that does not sting my eyes, so it is extraordinary. The texture again is quite rich. It is not thick, but it is rich, so if you have oily skin, that's not the best. It has a tint that is supposed to disappear, but on my skin tone it does not disappear. But on my mom's, it does. My mom is maybe 3-4 shades lighter than me, and on her it is invisible, which is something I was expected because our skin tone is very different. But what I was surprised is that one of my sister also likes this sunscreen and it is also invisible on her skin, and she's maybe 2 shades lighter than me, and still it is invisible on her skin tone, but it is much visible on mine. So I would say that if you are black, be careful with this sunscreen, because even if it works for you now, if you get darker in the summer, it might change. But I had to talk about it because the quantity for the price and the big packaging is very interesting, especially for the beach. As I said, again, the texture is not the best, but if you have to be on the beach and in the sun, you have to look at other things than the aesthetic. So for me, for the beach, this one is great as long as you don't have a skin tone close to mine and darker. The second category of sunscreens I want to talk about are the sunscreens which are great for everyday use, which means that they have perfect, nice texture, they are easy to apply, they are invisible. These are the sunscreens I'm going to talk about now. In this category, I have 3 sunscreens, and the first one is again from the brand Altruist, and it is their SPF 50 face fluid. So the packaging of this one is smaller, the price is higher, but it's still an affordable sunscreen when you look at the price on the market. And this one comes in a very fluid form, like the name of the sunscreen says, and it is pretty much invisible. The texture is thin, but it is quite moisturizing, so it would be better if you have a dry skin type. But again, unfortunately for me, it does sting my eyes. But if your eyes don't sting with sunscreens, then that is a great option. The second sunscreen in this category is my lovely sunscreen, which I have been using for many years now, and it is a mommy sunscreen from the brand Isntree. This one has a very nice texture. It feels really good when you apply it on your face. It disappears and it becomes completely clear. And when you apply it, at some point, you can feel that it does set on your face. I mean, it's not uncomfortable. You don't feel the sunscreen, but it is just that when you apply it, you can tell at one point that it is making a kind of film on your face to make sure the sunscreen does not move. And actually, this sunscreen is also waterproof. It does not sting my eyes, and it is moisturizing, but not too much moisturizing. This one I think would be perfect if you have normal skin type. I have combination oily skin type, so it's not the perfect sunscreen for me, but it still works. It will give glowy finish. So if you don't like this and you have oily skin, just skip this one, but in my opinion you should still try it because it is worth it. And again, I have a review on all those sunscreens, so I will leave a link of the video where you can see how it looks when I apply it on my face and with all the very details I give. The last sunscreen in this category is from the brand Isntree, and it is their Hyaluronic Acid Watery Sun Gel. This one also comes in a very nice texture. It is moisturizing. The claim is that it should work for dry skin because there are 8 types of hyaluronic acid in this sunscreen. But I actually think that it is a sunscreen that can work for every skin type. To me, if you have dry skin, you will probably prefer to use a moisturizer first before using this product. If you have normal skin, you will love it. If you have oily skin, you will love it as well. Because although the finish is not matte, I feel like it is still a soft matte finish. It does control sebum production and you can feel it. I could feel it when I used it, that my skin was less oily than usual, and it is probably because there is niacinamide in the ingredient list, and one of its job is to regulate sebum production, and for me, I have to say it works. The only reason I'm not a fan of this sunscreen is because it broke me out. Yes, unfortunately, but I've seen many reviews on this sunscreen and nobody complained about this, so for me it is definitely worth it. Those sunscreens are easy to apply, they have a nice texture, they are just wonderful sunscreens that you want to use every single day. The last category of sunscreens I want to talk about are the sunscreens which are great under makeup. And in this category, I can already say that the 3 sunscreens I've just shown you perfectly fit in this category because their texture is so nice. then depending on your skin type, as I explained, you will prefer this or that sunscreen. But I have two more sunscreens to add in the category of sunscreen I like under makeup. The reason they are not in the previous category is because their texture is not the best in my opinion, but they work really well under makeup. The first one is Dr. Sam's Flawless Daily Sunscreen, and it is actually the sunscreen I wear today under my makeup. It is the sunscreen I wear the most in my videos and under makeup. And as I said, the texture is not the best. The texture is creamy, but a thick cream. It's not that easy to apply on the skin. It is not completely transparent, but if you have combination oily skin, it does not make you look oilier, although the cream is quite rich. And it is probably again because of the ingredient niacinamide, which is used in this sunscreen. Also, I think it works wonderful under makeup. If you have dry skin, you could use a moisturizer and then use the sunscreen. If you have combination skin, oily skin like me, you can just use this sunscreen as your sunscreen and moisturizer. So the makeup looks great on it, but the good thing is that it looks great throughout the day. I've tried other sunscreens which are mattifying, and at the beginning of the day it may look good, but then at the end of the day it does not look that good. Your skin may look too dry, which is not the case with this one. The other sunscreen in this category is also from the brand Dr. Sam's, and it is the Dr. Sam's Flawless Gossamer Untinted. She also has a tint version. This untinted version again is not transparent on my skin. I made a video about those two sunscreens so you can see exactly how it looks on my skin. The texture again is not the best, the application is annoying, but when it is on your skin and then you apply your makeup, the makeup looks wonderful. This one I would use on very hot day, on a very summer day. I think also if you have very oily skin, that is a sunscreen that you will love under your makeup. Again, it is not drying and it looks wonderful under makeup. But if you have dry skin, don't try this one. Only people who have oily skin can enjoy this one, in my opinion. What I also love about those two sunscreens is the fact that when you apply it on the skin, you can tell that they are not going to move. And I think it is good because if you apply them under makeup, that probably means that you are not going to reapply the sunscreen. So if you have to apply it once, you want to make sure that it is really protecting your skin and it is not going to move. So these are my favorite sunscreens. If you want to know which sunscreen I use the most, the answer is easy. It is definitely the Mommy sunscreen by the brand Isntree, which is a Japanese brand. I think I forgot to tell you. So I bought it online. I've been buying it for maybe 4 years now, and it is my everyday sunscreen when I don't wear makeup, you know, just everyday sunscreen. And from now on, I'm gonna use this one at the beach as well. I didn't put this one in the beach category because the packaging is not that big, although the price is still good, but the packaging is small. This is the sunscreen I use under makeup because it helps the makeup last longer. And in the summertime where I'm gonna be on the heat all day in south of France, I will upgrade this one to this one. I am done with this video. I would love to know if you use a different sunscreen depending on the occasion, depending on the season. I am very interested about what you have to say. So let's chat in the comment section and I will see you on the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.